Hi Gemini, welcome to your November 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your before we get into it, I just wanted to say your 2022 Taroscopes are up and out there ready for purchase. So there's none of them that are under 90 minutes long. I put my heart and soul into these. I worked really hard on them. I have decided to charge for them this year, and the price is like minimal. You can get one for $4.99. You can get your sun, moon and ascendant for $12.97, or you can get your the entire bundle of all 12 for $24.99. So check them out. They are there for you if you want to get them. All right, so you can check that out in the link in the description box below, or there will be one of those little things floating around somewhere above my head. For your actions and interactions with the world at large, you have the Six of Swords. So for some of you, this could be a month where you are planning some form of travel. All right, now what I will say is if you are traveling this month, it does look like you're doing this. It's not leisure, right? It's going to be something where you have a destination to go to for something, and it may be to assist somebody else. That's the feeling that I get from this. What I will also say to you as well, it is the Six of Swords. Now, one of the meanings for this card is, you know, moving away from troubled challenges or challenged waters, let's say. I kind of feel like it may be that, but it's almost like you're heading into the eye of the storm, and you're doing that to assist somebody else. I get this feeling that this month you're going to be called upon, right? So someone's going to ask for your help, someone's going to ask for your insight, and it may have something to do with you needing to hop into the car and take a long journey of some sort. Maybe for some of you this is an overseas journey or a cross-country journey. Very possible, and it will be interesting to see how it shows up for you guys. For your money and materials, you have the Judgment card. So, what is the Judgment card? Aside from all of its other meanings, it's also a call to action. Because this card always precedes massive changes, I would say that this month your finances could really skyrocket in some way, or an opportunity may show up for you. Now, what I find really interesting is this. There's two ways that this is going to come up for you. The journey that you're having to take on somebody else's behalf may yield some amazing financial blessing or result for you personally, or you may find that an opportunity arises and it requires a relocation. There's something here that comes up this month. It's like there's a really great potential, you know, money earner, finance spinner, whatever you want to call it, and it's like there's a potential here for you to really make something wonderful happen. It's going to require you to really, what's the word? It's going to require you to really be present in some way, shape or form. I like this though. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like this is going to be really good for you. Now, what I also will say to you as well, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Judgment card I usually see for chronic illnesses and or situations. If you have one of those, it's not to say that you're suddenly going to develop one, but if you have one of those, this could be a month, Six of Swords, moving away from challenges. This could be a month where you find something that helps you manage that chronic challenge, illness, etc. I'm not a medical professional, can't give you that kind of advice, but I do feel that it's like you're crossing a barrier or getting over a hurdle of some sort, which I really, really like. For your communications and conversations, you have the Temperance card, right? So there are some very spiritual conversations that will be taking place over the course of this month. For some of you, you may be talking about some sort of ancestral practice. You might be talking about some sort of spiritual practice that you're choosing to take on board or now to embody. For a lot of you though, I feel like this could be a month where you're having a lot of really powerful awakening moments. I feel like there are going to be a lot of conversations about awakening, about ascension processes. The fact that you've got this right next to the Judgment card, there could be something this month that you find out or realize, I can make money from this. And it's not like a, you know, it's not like a, what's his name? Not Mr. Smithers, it's not like a Mr. Burns kind of, I can make money from this. It's not about greed or, you know, extreme wealth or anything. It's like, I love to do this. I know I'm good at it. And I feel like I can make money from this. There's a sense here, a conversation that you have, an interaction that you have, maybe a demonstration of whatever this gift or this skill is. And I've got one specific person in mind right now. And it's so crazy because I can kind of see this happening for them. And this person is a Gemini. So this could be a really great month for that. I will say this, the Justice card, the Temperance card can also sometimes see us playing piggy in the middle. You've got this in your communication sector. And when you start to combine that then with the Six of Swords, that does almost suggest to me that there's something that you're called on this month for, and it might not be easy. You might have to play mediator. You might be getting into something that you're kind of like, oh fuck, you know, I don't really know if I want to, you know, if I want to be dragged into or pulled into all of this, but you might not have a choice. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel like there's nobody else that will be able to do this job as well as you can. So if you find yourself being pulled into something, it's one of those moments where you're going to have to swallow it. It's not necessarily about you. For your work life, that Temperance card does suggest that there could be some powerful insights into either what you do for work, how you work, or more importantly, what you can do to change the experience of your professional life or outlook. And then for your love and relations, you've got the Four of Pentacles. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term relationships, your partner may not necessarily want you to, they might not want you to travel. That might be a possibility. It may be the reason or the person that you're having to travel for rubs your other half the wrong way up. And that's something that you might have to talk about. There may also be some challenging conversations around finances, money, or resources with a loved one or a partner. And I will say as well, for those of you that are single, this would be a month really to, I never want to say to people like, you should ignore all love prospects. And never, right? You should always be open to those if you're single. Or poly, you know, and which, fine. I think if there's anyone ever really suited to that kind of thing, I would say it was Scorpios, Geminis, and Aquarians, actually. I think those three signs really encapsulate that that whole kind of ethos. But I'm digressing and getting off topic. What I will say to you, though, with this Four of Pentacles, give yourself some time to give yourself some time to consider. I almost want to say, like, this month, give yourself some time to consider that there is stuff that you need to do before you think about getting loved up. And it's got nothing to do with sowing your wild oats or whatever. It actually has more to do with the fact that you on a financial level, on a material level, on a practical level, on a success level, there are things that you still have yet to do or to achieve that you may not be able to do with a partner in tow. This is sometimes the reason that we're single, or that we've been single for a long time, or that we've been made single, however it comes to an end or whatever, is because there's shit for us to do in the here and now. Take that as a cue from the universe, right? So for your first week of the month, you have the Lover's card. He says, right? So you've got two sixes here. Two sixes represent balance. And I mean, they can represent irritability as well, but this feels like balance to me. So the person that's calling on you, that may ask you for your help, your assistance, for some of you this could be an ex-lover, it could be somebody that you've been romantically linked to. Excuse me. It could be somebody that you have a lot of love for. You may not necessarily be in love with them, but it is likely to be somebody that you've got at least that kind of, you know, once you've been in a relationship with someone and you're like, okay, I'm not in love with you, but I could never see any harm happen to you. It could be somebody like that. Now, with these 2 6s, this may be that yours is the only outlook, input, or energy that is able to really quell whatever situation this person has going on. For a select few of you, maybe you are traveling for love, and that will come with its own, you know, I almost hear someone say, well, why have you got to go to them? Why can't they come to you? Ugh. You know, all right, for your second week of the month, you have the Temperance card. So there's a double hit of Temperance energy here. So we have to pay attention to the fact that there are some big conversations taking place this month, likely around the second week of the month, likely around your finances. And for some of you, there's a really big consideration about where you live, about what you're doing, about what your professional life is going to entail from here on in. I think this could be a really big month for you. For your third week of the month, you have the Hermit card right underneath the Temperance card. So I'm going to say this to you. I won't go as far as to say that the third week of the month is a dark night of the soul, but I am going to say this is a time for you to lay low. All right. So it looks like, I mean, you'll probably be doing that anyway. And it looks like whatever you are working on or focusing on a personal level, there's a really deep consideration this month of what spirituality means to you and how it can carry you through some of the experiences that are going to come up for you. And I've got to say, I do feel like that this month there is likely to be some decisions that feel like they're very big or very fated. I wonder why, because we have an eclipse this month, right? And then finally, for your fourth week of the month, you've got the Hanged Man, and it's right underneath the Four of Pentacles. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is probably a month where I mean, for some of you, you might be going on a break, right? For maybe some of you are saying, look, you know what, I think we need some time apart to consider this, and this. Possible. For those of you that are single, I feel like this is you being told to wait before you get into anything with anyone. And the reason being is it looks like your life is about to change in some really big ways. And it's kind of like, I almost feel like the universe is saying to you, don't get attached right now, because there's going to be so much change, so much flux, so much movement, you know, just in this month, let alone the months ahead, that you need to be autonomous right now. For your new moon in Scorpio, you have the gate 52 and stillness. So the new moon is really trying to show you how to go within, and this would be a really good way to use that energy, especially with these cards. I mean, I have to say there's a lot of spirituality in these cards. So if you don't have a spiritual practice, if you don't really pay much attention to that kind of stuff, this would be a month for you to start. This would be a month for you to really start asking some of those bigger questions. What do you believe is out there? What do you think your gifts are? What do you personally understand as the ascension or the awakening process? You know, do you believe in that stuff? Do you believe in just, do you believe, right? Like big stuff. I mean, this new moon is going to be powerful for you guys. And it's not going to be by interacting with people like you usually do as that wonderful social butterfly that you are. It's going to be through meaningful communication, not a plethora of it, or like, well, no, because Gemini needs, you know, but it's going to be really about sifting it out. And this is one thing that I've always said. It's like, if you got all of the holy books of the world, of all the major religions in the world, and you could put them through a sieve, you'd probably end up with a book that was like that thin, that was just pure truth, right? So this new moon, I feel like, could provide you with some insight in that way. Your full moon message for the powerful eclipse on the 19th of November, and this is a big deal, and it's a big deal because this is kicking off the next season of eclipses that will happen in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. So this is what it's going to be. This energy that you feel now is going to be like that for the next 18, about the next 18 months, apart from the eclipse that we have on December 4th in Sagittarius. That's like the last one. All right, so for your full moon message, you have the gate 9 and small details. One of the things that I like about this card, it's not just about paying attention to the detail, it's also about how, you know, like in a language when you're speaking, like sometimes just the slightest trip of you know, if you take the slightest tip off of a word, or if you miss the beginning of a word, it can completely change the meaning of what you're saying or the sentence that you're using. Like you go from can I have a drink to your mother's a bleep bleep bleep. Do you know what I mean? That's an extreme example, of course, but this full moon is really going to highlight that to you, where the sense of precision and, more importantly, attention to what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and more importantly, what you are or are not seeing or adding to the path that you're walking now. This could be, I don't know, I just get the sense that this is going to be a very powerful month for the Geminis, and not in a bad way, right? There's nothing here really that I find scary or intimidating. I think it could all be great. I just feel like it's also very big. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Don't forget to check out your 2022 Taroscope for the year ahead. Astrology, numerology, tarot, breakdowns, tons of it. Check it out in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.